I have a couple of slides that I really thought were really good. So this first one here that you're seeing is about, historically when there's been, pandemics or this type of, crisis, what's happened to the economy. And what these experts are saying that it seems to be going in the same way as historical crisis like this. And what they're seeing is, we're going to see a V-shaped, sharp recession recovery. And that means that it's going to be what I've always thought would happen is it's just going to shoot right back up. Not necessarily to normal, but it'll shoot right back up as soon as we get on the other side of this. And of course, that's the big looming question. But, so this is what that slide, it's kind of shows of that what a lot of these organizations are showing what they're predicting will happen. And this is what they mean by a sharp, we're obviously going way down right now, but once we get on the other side of this, you'll see all of these just go shooting right back up, and then we'll level out a little bit right around where we're supposed to be. Okay. And let's see. Oh, it's happy hour time. Let's pause for a drink break. All right. We'll come back to this, Casey, the mortgage rates. We'll come back to that. So this is kind of showing home prices over the last 5 recessions, because this is a big deal, because when everybody's like, oh my God, the stock market's crashing, the whole 9 yards, we're in a huge recession. Historically, when it comes to home prices, we're almost unaffected. You'll see in the last 5 of them, the only one that was really affected home prices was 2008, but that's because it's the housing market that caused that crash. We don't really see that happening again, at least at this point in time. So I think we're going to see something similar to this, where housing prices may even go up or stay a little bit flat. All right. Now, interest rates, and I'll turn it over to Casey in a little while, but this is just kind of a graph of what's showing where interest rates have been. Casey, this seems pretty accurate to you, I think, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does look accurate. Yep.
You can see just a couple weeks ago, I remember you and I did a video about how low they were, and they've come up a little bit, but not a ton. They're still super, super low.
Definitely very good.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it for slides there. I figured something else I would do is look at what we call the hot sheets. Vicky probably looks at the hot sheets almost every day, just like I do. But in real estate, what we call hot sheets are like, we look at it every day, like what's come on the market, what has sold, what's pending, all that kind of stuff. And I have it set up to show what's happened in the last week. So you can see in the greater Portland area, what's happening in the last week, how many listings have come on, what has sold, all that kind of stuff. So if I click go, these are residential below 700,000. So we're in the, the normal person's realm. It doesn't include multi-units or land or anything like that. These are just houses and condominiums below 700 in Portland, Cape Elizabeth, South Portland, Scarborough, Falmouth, Westbrook, those towns. So all of greater Portland. And I'm going to show you here, new listings in the last week. We've had almost 40 new listings come on the market. All right, so people are still going, hey, I need to sell my house. I got to put it on the market. We've had 5 price changes. I guarantee those prices have come down. No, almost never a price goes up. So, closed. We've had 40 closings just this past week. Now, that's not the best number to look at because these 40 closings probably went under contract a month or 6 weeks ago before we got into this, pandemic time. So, but the real number that I like looking at here is the pending. We've had 30 houses go under contract in the last week. That goes to show people are still out there looking at houses and signing on the dotted line to move forward with something. We've had 6 expired and 5 withdrawals. I'm not surprised to see some of that. Those are probably the people who are like, I'm out of here for a little bit. I'm going to hold off, all that kind of stuff. Good on the hot sheets. Any questions? No? So then what I thought, yeah, go ahead.
Is that, I'm more of a rookie,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that normal or high activity for this time of year historically?
That's low. But I think what I get at least a little bit excited about when I see that is at least there's some activity. Because honestly, I was thinking, geez, we're going to go into this and we're done for 3 months.
Okay.
But over the last couple of weeks, which is a good segue, this was what I was going to talk about next, was over the last couple of weeks, the real estate industry has really stepped up to say, hey, we got to figure something out, and we got to be able to do business in a certain way. And I'm just amazed at how everybody has stepped up to be, hey, this is how we're going to do showings. We can do them virtually. We got a lot of technology in place, so we can still do social distancing, but still sell houses. But I guess the short answer to the question is that is low, but I'm happy to see that there's some activity,
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And so, yeah, anyway, I was going to kind of segue into what we can and can't do with all, I'm sure, everybody's watched the news. The governor just came out and said, hey, everybody stay at home, all that kind of stuff. Real estate is, in the eyes of the state, still considered an essential business, but we have to be very careful about what towns we're working in, because a lot of towns have said, no, you're not essential. You can't function that way. Okay, but even as a non-essential business, we can still do certain things. Like if you want to see a house, we can maybe just send you as a buyer and figure that out. We can have the sellers maybe do videos of the house for you and FaceTime with us. Me as a broker, I can go to houses and maybe FaceTime with my clients to show the houses. If we're in a town that's practicing the essential business, then we can both go together, but we still have to be safe and 6 feet apart. We're trying to bring hand sanitizer, masks, gloves, sanitize our way in, sanitize our way out. But there are ways to see houses right now, because real estate, in my eyes, should be an essential business. Everybody needs a roof over the head, and over your head, and if you need to move, if you need to make an adjustment in that realm of your life, you need to be able to make that happen. So, next up on my agenda, and lastly, is talk a little bit about mortgages, which I'll kind of let Casey Hamlin take the reins here, but I'll ask you a question to get started here, or the questions I'm looking for. Where are interest rates now? Maybe what do you see in the market that, are there any new regulations coming down? And maybe if there's a buyer out there thinking that they do want to buy a house this year, is there anything that they can do now to get themselves ready for when we get out of this? I know I just threw a whole ton of stuff at you, but what are interest rates at now?
Interest rates, they're basically like the mid-3 range right now.
Okay.
It's been kind of a crazy week not just 1 week, but like last couple weeks for the home loan business and stuff like that, and a lot's going on that has actually like reminded me of what happened back in 2007 and 2008. So, gosh, it's a little scary at times, but it's just a storm, really, that we got to get through. Like just with the whole economy thing and everything else, it's just a storm we got to get through. But it's just it's impacted financing. So if you're talking to someone that wants to buy a house and now or 3-4 months from now, it's worth just saying, hey, if anything changes, or even if not, if you've talked to a lender before, or it might help them if they just go and talk to the lender and just check in and say, hey, I want to see if anything's changed with my numbers or what I qualified for before, because lenders have nationally scaled back on how much money they're lending you. The requirements have gone up, and stuff like that. It's I could talk about what's gone on for probably another 4 hours. It's just like, it's pretty crazy, but basically it all stems from the worry that people won't have the ability to repay their loan, over the economy. So it's kind of caused this big issue. And if we're friends on Facebook, go check out this video I posted today. This guy explains it really, really well in about 7 minutes. But the best analogy I can give you is like, if you were a lender or a bank, this is the way they kind of look at it. Suppose the doctor told you that, let's say you had to take a prescription and they gave you 10 pills, but one pill has cyanide in it. Okay. The issue at hand is you don't know which pill to take, so you don't take any of the pills, right? And that's the way the lending world is right now. Like, they know that 3 million jobless claims were filed last week or so. So they know like 1 in every 10 loans right now has a possibility of going into default, but they don't know which ones. So they're basically upping the requirements for everybody. And this will be a short-term thing. Once we get through it on the other side, it'll all come back and things will be easy, as far as easier. But right now it's tough right now for people in the loan business, because we're constantly having to kind of look at things and make sure people are still okay on a day in, day out basis, where it just wasn't like that before. So
right. So are you saying that like you're just doing more employment verification, like those types of things? Is that the problem that you're running into?
Employment, well, I mean, we've literally, I don't want to be Debbie Downer here, but there are a lot of people losing jobs, and so it does impact if they're furloughed. Just because they're, even if they're furloughed, it doesn't, it doesn't mean they can get a job, get a loan, because there's no guarantee of that money coming back. So it's tough.
Now, what about the people that are like in good shape? You know what I mean? Like maybe there's a nurse or somebody who's obviously not going to lose their job through all of this. Are they still like good, or is it just a little bit more of a pain in the butt? Or
no, I mean, not everybody's going to feel the effect. I mean, if they're in like what I'd call like an essential business, but I think just that the longer this goes on, obviously the stimulus package that was passed hopefully really puts a big Band-Aid on everything, right? And
right.
things can keep on continuing, but I'm
hoping it gets us through at least a couple months. Yeah,
if we get into a bad situation, it could impact the financing market a little bit more. And there are some things that are happening though, like they've made it easier for appraisals to get done, because really people are like really sketched out about having somebody come in the house. They don't know where they've been, or that sort of thing. So that stuff has gotten better. And they've made it a little bit easier in some aspects. It's just the whole the job verification stuff has gotten a little bit more tricky and watched a little closer. So not to kind of change subjects, but did you guys see that that John Travolta they thought he just get tested positive for COVID-19?
Uh-oh.
But they said they were wrong. It's actually just Saturday night fever.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.